president said in an interview with CNN that Ukraine is not ready for NATO membership. Given that Ukraine is currently fighting Russia, holding back Russian aggression, what NATO was designed to do, what specifically makes them not ready? What reforms is the United States looking for to make Ukraine ready? And will be a roadmap laid out to make Ukraine ready at this summit?
So there actually have been reforms identified in Ukraine's annual national program, which is the instrument that it uses in consultation with the NATO alliance for how to move forward on democratic security sector and economic reforms to ensure that its democracy and its security sector are truly robust, resilient, and are able to tackle issues like corruption effectively. What the allies will have the opportunity to do in Vilnius is talk about where we go from here with respect to those reforms that are required. And it's not just the alliance asserting that. Ukraine has acknowledged the need to continue to move along the reform pathway as it pursues its efforts to seek membership. So as we speak right now, there's work being done on the NATO communique, on the language relative to Ukraine's desire to seek membership in NATO. I think we will see the allies come to consensus around that as we head into Vilnius. And it will, among other things, talk about a process for continuing to work through those reforms.
Can you elaborate on what the Israel-style security assurances the president mentioned is? And where does that money come from? Obviously, you have to go back to Congress. What does this look like?
So the concept is that the United States, alongside other allies and partners within a multilateral framework, will negotiate bilateral security commitments with Ukraine for the long term, meaning that the United States would be prepared to provide various forms of military assistance, intelligence and information sharing, cyber support, and other forms of material support so that Ukraine can both defend itself and deter future aggression. I expect that at Vilnius, you will see the president speaking to this issue and consulting with President Zelensky on this issue, as well as our G7 partners and other partners as well. The next step, of course, would be to actually get into the details of those discussions and negotiations with Ukraine to work out the terms of that support, the duration of that support, and the specifics of that support. And of course, at the end of the day, that will require working very closely with the Congress, because to provide that support effectively requires resources. Those resources would have to come from Congress. So they will be a critical and vital partner in that. And that would be reflected in any statement the president makes with respect to this kind of model going forward.
Jake, can you tell